Thanks for joining us. In this audit, we looked at capital asset management at BC Hydro. Specifically, we looked at whether BC Hydro was managing its assets well through appropriate information, practices, processes, and systems. We found that it is. BC Hydro's assets, such as dams, generators, and transformers, are worth about $25 billion. This represents approximately 35% of government's assets. Overall, BC Hydro demonstrates good practices managing its assets. This is largely the result of a decade-long plan and associated efforts. As such, we did not make any recommendations in this report. We looked at approximately 80% of BC Hydro's assets. These are things like dams, generators, power lines and poles, substations, and transformers. These assets make up an extensive province-wide generation, transmission, and distribution system that provides more than 90% of the electricity in BC. The other 20% of Hydro's assets, which we didn't look at, are things like vehicles, buildings, and computers. Of the 80% we looked at, we found that BC Hydro's assets are a mix of old and new, with some approaching 100 years of service and nearing the end of their service life, and others just coming online this year. For the last fiscal year, so from April 1st, 2017 to March 31st, 2018, BC Hydro invested almost $2.5 billion to renew, repair, or replace its assets. This included, for example, the John Hart Generating Station replacement near Campbell River, the Ruskin Dam safety and powerhouse upgrade near Mission, and the upgrade to the Horn-Payne substation in Burnaby. Asset management is the purposeful and long-term processes that aim to get the greatest efficiency for the lowest cost out of an asset over its lifetime. These processes help organizations to achieve their objectives. Hydro's good asset management practices give it the best chance of meeting its organizational mission to safely provide reliable, affordable, clean electricity throughout BC. We did not make any recommendations in this audit because we found BC Hydro is managing its assets well, and there were no significant deficiencies in its systems, activities, and practices. We found that overall, BC Hydro demonstrates good practices as the result of a decade-long plan and associated efforts, not by accident. Over 10 years ago, BC Hydro made asset management an organizational priority. Since then, it has worked to implement international guidelines and good practice standards. It has also had its practices verified by independent audits. For BC Hydro, good asset management practices are essential to ensure the continued supply and flow of electricity in British Columbia. That's our summary for today. Thank you for joining us. We'd like to encourage you to read the full report. It and our other reports are available on our website at www.bcauditor.com.